Hey guys, so this is a follow-up to the video that I made in which I showed you guys how to do 3 different things for the MSI Claw 8 AI Plus. So the 3 things I talked about in my previous video was the CPU boost. I showed you guys how to turn it off, the BIOS update, how to do it manually, and VRR, how to make sure it's always working when you're playing a video game while you have the inbuilt FPS overlay on. So the 2 main questions I had from that video was, number 1, how did I disable CPU boost through the software, which I will show you guys in this video, and number 2, how did I get the FPS overlay, which was shown on the top left here. How did I get that FPS overlay? Because I did say the inbuilt overlay disables VRR. So how do I get the other overlay that does not disable VRR? So now, before I begin, I would really like it if you guys can like this video and subscribe. So I hope you guys can support this channel. Make sure you like and subscribe and share the video to as many people as you can. And also, before we begin, I have provided a link in the description for the part 1 of the how to get the best settings for your Claw 8. So make sure you watch that video. I'll also try to put it somewhere on the screen here so you guys can just click on it. But yeah guys, after you've watched the first video, let's go ahead and do the part 2. So for the first step, how do you get this GPD Motion Assistant version 1.2.0.3? This is not the latest version because the latest version is blocked by antivirus. By the way guys, this is not a virus, okay? So don't worry about that. So how do you get this specific version, which I have shown in the video? Okay, so let me close this. I have provided a link to this page which gives you the exact version that I have downloaded. I've already downloaded this software, but just to show you guys how it's done, you will go to this exact page when you click on the link in the description below. So once you've clicked on the link, click on download and make sure obviously you are connected to the internet. It shouldn't take long, maybe like a few seconds, and then it should be right here. So just open it and just click on next. I've already installed the software, so I'm not going to do it again because sometimes the antivirus blocks it and I don't want to risk blocking it. But before you continue, let me tell you 2 things you need to do, or you should do, in order to make sure this software gets up and running. Now the first thing is core isolation. So just type core and you should get core isolation. Open it. And this is not just for antivirus, this is also for performance, so it should help boost performance in case you have not turned it off. So make sure this is turned off. This is one of the first things I do whenever I get a PC handheld running Windows, is I always turn core isolation off. This has shown to greatly improve performance in some games, and you don't need it in a gaming handheld. So once this is off, the other thing you want to do is type virus and threat protection and click on it, and then click on manage settings. Make sure the real-time protection is off. As you can see, I have turned mine off because when you're installing and downloading certain software such as this one, you don't want it to be detected as this antivirus, because this is not antivirus. So make sure this is off. Once this is off, you can go ahead and by the way, this is not in English, as you can see, but don't worry guys, you can just click on next, and then until the software has downloaded. Now I know you can't see next, but this is the next button right here. And just click on this, and then it will go ahead, and as you can see, it will start installing and then finished. So just 2 clicks and you're done. You should now have Motion Assistant showing on the desktop right here. So I'll just double tap to open the software, then click on yes, And in case it doesn't show up, don't worry, because I already had it running. It should be here. There you go. So that's the software that you need. Now it should say version 1.2.0.3, and this is the version I recommend you guys to use. When you open it, this is the screen that you get, and the first thing that you may want to do is disable CPU boost, and I've shown in the previous video why you should disable CPU boost. So in case you have not seen it, make sure you watch that video, because disabling CPU boost can double or triple your battery life in some games. That's how good it is, without any sacrifice in performance, which is absolutely amazing. So the first thing I did was disable CPU boost. From my previous video, another question that I had was, do you have to disable CPU boost every time you start the MSI Claw 8? And the answer is no. Once you've set it, it will always stay off. Now, in order to make sure it always stay off, I will show you a few settings that you need to change right now so that it is effective. So what you need to do is open the GPD Motion Assistant, and obviously the first thing you need to do is make sure the disable CPU box is checked, and then you need to go to the advanced tab right here, and then in here there are two options you need to check. So you need to check start with Windows. As you can see, I've already checked it. And then you need to start minimize to tray. So from now on, even when you turn the MSI Claw 8 AI off, it will always start Motion Assistant when you turn it back on, and it will be minimized to tray. So if you go to your tray here, as you can see, Motion Assistant is right here. So from now on, the TDP, under TDP, the disable CPU will always be checked. And of course, I can always uncheck it if I want to enable CPU boost. So make sure that in the advanced tab, you have start with Windows and minimize to tray option on. For the second step, I will show you how to get the FPS overlay through the Motion Assistant app. So for example, I've got Hollow Knight Silksong running in on the MSI Claw 8, and as you can see, I have the FPS overlay, which does not turn off VRR, because if you use the inbuilt overlay, let me show you where that is. So the inbuilt overlay, the real-time monitor, if I turn this on, this can sometimes turn the VRR off. Okay, so instead of using this overlay, use the one that I'm about to show you. So first of all, make sure the inbuilt overlay, which is right here, is turned off. So let me just go ahead and turn this off. Okay, so now I have turned this off. Now how do I get this overlay up and showing? Okay, so what you have to do is open the Motion Assistant app, and then you should be on the main screen. Now what you want to do is you want to go to the tab that says RTSS OSD, and in this tab what you can see is I have enabled OSD. For you, this box will not be ticked. It should be like this. This is what you're going to get by default. Now what you want to do is, before you enable OSD, you have to go to this page. I have provided a link in the description, so click on it and it will take you to this page. And what you want to do is you want to download the latest version of RTSS River Tuner Statistics, because this will enable the FPS overlay. So just click on the latest version, which is this. It will go ahead and install, and then go ahead and double click. First of all, you need to extract it, so extract, replace yes, and then go ahead and install it. I already have it installed, so once you have installed this, you can go back to your game. So let me open Silksong, and now I will open the GPD Motion Assistant, and if I click on the enable OSD, as you can see, it has shown. The FPS overlay is showing. In case it is not showing, it probably means the RTSS we just downloaded, you have not installed it correctly, or it's not open. So one way to check is if you go here on the bottom right, you should see this monitor icon, small monitor icon. This is basically the RTSS. So you should have this software, the RTSS River Tuner Statistics Server running. Once you have this running and you enable the OSD through the Motion Assistant app, it will present you with the default OSD that shows the CPU, the GPU, the battery, the temperature, the resolution and the FPS and the total battery draw, plus the CPU power and the GPU power, which is, in my opinion, all that you need. And another thing you can do with the OSD is, so currently I'm using full. I can use one line, which I really like. So for example, with one line you just get one line at the top. Okay, you can also change the size. So to change the size, for example, font size is 5. I'm only using 5 right now so you guys can see it, but usually I set it to around 2 or 3 because this doesn't take too much space. As you can see, now I can just focus on the game and not have this, you know, right in front of my face with really big text. Sometimes I even put it to like 2, so that way, you know, I can just focus on what I'm doing, and I can always, you know, like have a look at what's going on at the FPS and the battery life. So yeah guys, if you have any questions with regards to the FPS overlay, if you have any difficulties, first of all make sure you like and subscribe, and then comment down below and let me know if you have any questions regards to the CPU boost or the FPS overlay or anything else. So yeah guys, make sure you comment down below and let me know, and I will reply to you as soon as possible. Another thing you might be wondering is, how do I get the Motion Assistant app to open so quickly, for example, you know, just by pressing a few buttons? So you need to map a few keys in order to do this. So once you have the Motion Assistant app open, go to Hotkeys, and under Hotkeys you can change a lot of options here. You can map keys and buttons to give you so many different options. For example, I have checked the show/hide, and I have set the left bumper, the right bumper, and the left D-pad. So every time I press these 3 buttons at the same time, like this, it will turn it off. It will hide Motion Assistant, and if I want to display it, I'll just press these 3 buttons again. So off and on, off and on, and this is much more convenient. And this is much more convenient than having to go to desktop and then opening Motion Assistant from there. So yeah guys, definitely you know, check the box and set any key you want. So I will show you how this works. So click on, so first make sure it's checked, and then click on set. Now you have 5 seconds. I'll press bumpers and D-pad. So now these 3 buttons have been recorded, and as you can see, it works. You can obviously assign any keys to this that you want. I also check the vibration on, because every time I press these 3 buttons there's a slight vibration, which I really like. You can also change the TDP this way, so -1 and +1. So every time you press certain buttons, the TDP will go up 1 or -1, which is great, you know, for a lot of different reasons, because you don't have to do it manually from now on. You can also assign custom TDPs, you can have your FPS limiter, you can change the fan speed, you can have your task manager, you can even enable and disable CPU boost by just pressing a few buttons. So this is a really nice options here, you know. Make sure you check it out to make your life easier. There is another thing I want to talk about, but this will be done in another video. But I just want to give you guys a quick look at, you know, what that is. So if you open the MSI quick settings overlay, in here I've got another option here. So as you can see, I've got the ToothNClawm, and I have 2 tabs here, 2 extra tabs that you normally don't get. And now through this I can disable the CPU boost. Okay, and also I have so many different options, such as frame limiter, display resolution, different types of efficiency settings, latency, and also I have some color settings as well. So I can change the saturation, the brightness, the contrast. And what I really like is the Intel adaptive sharpening. This can make games look sharper than they usually will look. So I'll make a separate video on how to download and install this, because some of you have difficulties with the GPD Motion Assistant app. So let me show you the app. So some of you have problems getting this app up and running, maybe because the antivirus is automatically blocking it. So I will show you guys how to get the CPU boost off through another way, which is the ToothNClawm. So make sure you like and subscribe and stay tuned for that. Also, there's another issue with the Claw 8. It is the fact that this button on the right here, which is used to open the quick settings, sometimes it doesn't work and the quick settings either doesn't open or takes too long. So what I will show you in the next video is how to assign the quick settings button to one of the back buttons here on the back of the claw. So for example, right now I'm not going to press this button, I'm just going to press one of the back buttons, and as you can see we have the quick settings showing up, and this is sometimes more responsive than pressing this button here. So instead of pressing this button, you can just press the back button, which, you know, is more responsive. So I'll show you guys how to map that key, and also how to get ToothNClawm to get all these different options. And also there's a few different ways to get the CPU boost off, such as Throttlestop. So stay tuned for my next video. Make sure you like and subscribe, comment down below, let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.